Chapter 3, Fallacies of Oversimplification. 3.8, Dicto Simpliciter. We now move to 7 fallacies of oversimplification. The most obvious and direct of these is called Dicto Simpliciter, which means saying something simply, absolutely, unqualifiedly, that is, applying a general principle to a special case without qualification. It consists in ignoring the facts about the special case that requires the principle to be qualified. Examples. Number 1, man is a rational animal, therefore even an idiot can pass a logic course. 2, according to the Greek saying, water is best, so I'll swap you some water for the diamonds and you'll come out ahead. 3, Dicto Simpliciter is a fallacy, therefore don't read this logic textbook. It's too simple. It gives you only the basics. 3b, Special case. This is exactly the reverse of Dicto Simpliciter. Dicto Simpliciter argues that something is true simply, therefore it is true in some special case. Special case argues that something is true in some special case, therefore it is true simply. Both fallacies ignore the specialness of the special case. The saying, the exception proves the rule, is a rather sloppy and misleading way of refuting this fallacy. What that saying really means is not literally that an exception like some triangles are not three-sided proves the rule that all triangles are three-sided, or that this man is 10 feet tall proves that the truth of the rule that no man is 10 feet tall. That would be absurd and self-contradictory. What it means is that the exception or special case presupposes the rule. If there is no rule, there can be no exceptions to it. Most rules are generalizations that are only usually true and admit exceptions are special cases. For example, it's wrong to take another man's property against his will, which is not true when the other man is about to commit suicide with his own gun. Boston gets more snow than Charlotte, North Carolina, is true only 99 years out of 100, but not always. 3c, Composition. This fallacy consists in arguing from the part to the whole, ignoring the fact that what is true of the part is not necessarily true of the whole. It can be done with either groups or single things. This member of the professor's logic class is smart, therefore that must be a smart class. Does it for a group. That chapter was fascinating, the whole book must be fascinating too. Does it for a thing. Examples. Mark Twain said to his minister, I enjoyed your service this morning. I welcomed it like an old friend. I have, a book at home containing every word of it. You have not? The minister protested. I have so. Well, you send that book to me and I'd like to see it. I'll send it, promised Twain. The next day he sent the minister an unabridged dictionary. 3d, Division. This is the reverse of composition. It consists in arguing from a whole to a part, ignoring the fact that what is true of the whole is not always true of the part. It too can be done either with single things, that book is fascinating, therefore each chapter must be, and with groups, that class is smart and he's a member of it, therefore he must be smart. Example, if 10 glasses of wine per meal is harmful to health, then 1 glass of wine per meal must also be harmful to health, for it cannot be that many good things make one bad thing. 3e, the black and white fallacy. This is similar to Dicto Simpliciter, but the fallacy here consists in not allowing for gradations or means between extremes. Dicto Simpliciter consisted in not allowing for exceptions to a simple rule. There are black and whites, but there are also grays. Not everything is an either or. The fallacy here consists in arguing it is not this one extreme, therefore it must be the opposite extreme. Examples, do you hate me? No. How wonderful. You love me. 2, if the arrow moves, it must move either where it is or where it isn't. But it cannot move where it is. It simply is where it is. Nor can it move where it isn't, because it cannot move where it does not exist, therefore it cannot move. 3f, Quoting out of context. The meaning of this fallacy is quite clear from its name. It comes in 2 main forms. The context that is ignored can either be literary or real. In a literary form, it is simply the text before and after the quoted part that is the context ignored. In the other form, it is the real, lived situation surrounding the spoken words. What is ignored is relevant facts such as who the speaker was addressing, the relationship between the two, what issue they were discussing, and what else was said. Fundamentalists are famous for quoting scripture out of context. The term fundamentalism, in its proper sense, is theological, not logical. It arose in the early 20th century Protestant theology as a reaction to liberalism or modernism, which denied the supernatural and the miraculous, and fundamentalism, at first coined and defined by scholarly Princeton theologian Benjamin Warfield, meant simply belief in 5 fundamental miracles of traditional Christianity, such as Christ's bodily resurrection. But the popular meaning of the term nowadays has broadened to mean any simple-minded literalism, especially in interpreting the Bible, including insensitivity to symbolic language and quoting proof texts out of the textual context that would have significantly changed their meaning. If this were done consistently, it would produce absurdities such as the idea that the Bible teaches in Ecclesiastes that all is vanity, and even that we should hang ourselves, for it says both that Judas went and hanged himself and go and do likewise. 3G, stereotyping. Like the fallacy of dicta simpliciter, stereotyping makes no room for exception. Stereotypes are not the same as archetypes. Stereotypes are artificial, socially fabricated, and changeable. Archetypes are givens in the collective unconsciousness. Women are weak and inferior is a stereotype. The sea is a woman is an archetype. The Jewish mother is a stereotype. Mother Earth is an archetype. G.I. Joe is a stereotype. Ares or Mars, the god of war, is an archetype. Not all generalizations are stereotypes. In fact, one of the most misused stereotypes in modern discourse is that of the stereotype, for it is fashionable to call every generalization a stereotype. Here are some real examples of stereotypes. You're tall, you must play basketball. You're black, you must dance. You're a man, you must throw your socks on the floor. You're a woman, you must get bad PMS. You're an American, you must be rich.